let's have a look at Year 10, Learning Activity 2, Holiday Loading and Budgets. Okay, budgets I think you've done before. Let's just say, for example, per week, how much you earn, how much you spend, do you have anything left over, will you have any savings, and so on and so forth. Holiday loading is a little bit different. It basically came about in the 1970s, in Australia at least, for people that are on wages. So they might be earning, say, $35 as their hourly rate, working 40 hours a week, 38 to 40 hours a week, and then their gross income is $35 times, let's say, 38 to 40 hours. But then also you would have people doing what they call overtime. So I worked in a factory at Arnott's in Smithfield. I was a machine operator for these machines that make the chips that come through, making about 100 bags of chips an hour, some of these machines more. And so instead of coming along and saying to you around about the time that you started your shift, would you like to do a bit of overtime today? And you've sort of got 8 hours there, you're thinking like, no. They'd come along with about an hour to go, and like if they saw you looked really worn out and whatever, they wouldn't ask you. But if you looked like you had a bit of energy, they'd say, you know what? How about you stop back today for 2 hours for overtime? And then they'd say for that, you would get, for those 2 hours, you get your overtime rate. So instead of saying $35 an hour, you get 1.5 or 1.5 times 35. So let's say 35 times 1.5 equals, so $52.50 per hour, times by 2 equals $105. So you'd end up with an extra $105 for the day for doing 2 extra hours. And then if you're a little bit like, they weren't kind of getting enough at some places, enough people to stay back. Because you are worn out. You've done 8 hours and there's very noisy in the factory and so on and so forth. You got family to go home to, whatever. Anyway, then they say, okay, we'll throw in a meal allowance. So you can go to the canteen and get something. And you sort of think to myself, oh, that food's all right around lunchtime, but I don't want to go get an old, dried up salami sandwich that no one else has bought at, just before the canteen closes. No thanks. So they say, and then they start to bring in a thing where you got like a $12 meal allowance, which was paid in cash. So that wasn't taxed. So the thing is, then you could say to yourself, okay, I'll take the $12, and you could buy that same sort of salami sandwich maybe for $8 on your way home from work, from some other place. Not the same sandwich, the same kind of thing. You go to the vending machine and buy junk food. You could bring an apple, which I don't know, maybe cost you like 50 cents back in those days, and you'd end up with $12 minus 50 cents in your pocket, plus $105. But that, of course, was taxed. Anyway, so enough of that. That's a little bit about holiday loading.